Hi, and welcome to another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist. I am your host, Dennis Richkovsky. Some of you recognize me as the co-owner of FlipFlopsDonuts, and some of you know me as your broker of real estate who specializes in waterfront and water view properties along the Crystal Coast, especially on boat banks and in my town of Emerald Isle, North Carolina. On this channel, you will find the essential information from inside scoops on buying and selling houses to how to live with this ocean, rivers, and sounds that define the Crystal Coast. Today's episode is all about an interview I had with Doug STARKE, who is running for mayor of Emerald Isle, North Carolina. Whether you visit here occasionally or live here full time, knowing about Doug STARKE and his vision for Emerald Isle is a story worth telling. Before I begin, please subscribe to my video channel now or at the end of this video. Today I had the pleasure of talking with candidate Doug STARKE. Doug wasn't born in Emerald Isle, but he got here as fast as he could. The son of a commercial waterman and a teacher in the Carteret school system, Doug was fortunate to grow up in this one-of-a-kind beach town since 1983. About 18 months ago, Doug and his partners sold their successful transportation impact business. Doug's friends made fun of him for retiring at the age of 40, but Doug was simply getting ready for the next chapter, running for mayor of Emerald Isle, North Carolina, which is my adopted hometown too. What would make a retired 40-year-old raising a family of 3 with his wife Erin run for mayor or any other political post for that matter? The answer Doug gave me is that he wants his children to have the same opportunities he had growing up in this unique family-friendly beach community. And he was tired of hearing his wife tell him to stop complaining and start doing something, like running for office. I probed a bit deeper. Why mayor and not town commissioner? Doug said he didn't want to run for commissioner because he didn't want to run against incumbents. He respects experience and knowledge too much. Then, when Doug learned that the current mayor was not seeking re-election and that only one candidate had filed to run, he filed his candidacy 2 days prior to the deadline. I probed deeper still. The position of mayor is viewed as ceremonial by many. How can you affect change when you don't have voting power? And Doug said that he had a vision for Emerald Isle and that he can be persuasive. From his previous business life, he knows how to network, and he plans to reach out to other mayors of beach communities and learn what they have done well and what they regret. Doug and I discussed his vision for the town of Emerald Isle. Job 1, Doug said, is maintaining the family-friendly community vibe. There's nothing like crossing the Bonner Bridge into Emerald Isle and experiencing that E-I-E-I-ah feeling. A feeling of returning to a special place where everyone knows your name. Doug recognizes that we can't turn back the clock or ignore growth. Doug is all about managed growth that maintains the family-first culture the town of Emerald Isle has nourished for almost 70 years. Unmanaged, chaotic growth, he said, could turn Emerald Isle into another Myrtle Beach, and neither of us wants that. Doug spoke about preserving other town amenities too, especially our beaches. Doug is a surfer, and he has seen a lot of beaches all over this world. He described watching workers raking Caribbean beaches in an effort to remove trash and groom what little sand there was into a facsimile of what we have here in Emerald Isle. Our beaches, Doug said, are the envy of the Outer Banks. And one of his priorities is to maintain that status for vacationers and residents alike. This brought Doug back to the topic of experience. He said that Jim Normile was not seeking re-election and that saddened him because of all the experience the town would be losing. However, Doug said Jim would continue as a member of the Carteret County Beach Commission, and that was a good thing. We discussed another amenity, the Emerald Path. I shared with Doug my concerns about people using prohibited electric-powered bicycles, scooters, and skateboards on the path. Doug shared my concerns and asked me what I would do. I offered education and enforcement of existing rules as a first step. Doug also shared his desire to preserve beach driving in Emerald Isle, another valued amenity. Off-season beach driving, Doug said, is a tradition which dates back to the town's very beginning. This tradition has supported both commercial fishing and recreational activities for decades. Increased town growth has seen a concomitant increase in drivers on the beach. To preserve this amenity, Doug supports the town's initiative to expand patrols, holding drivers accountable who violate rules, thereby increasing the likelihood that today's residents can pass on driving privileges to future generations. I was impressed with Doug's passion to invest in the Carteret County public school system. That is unusual for someone living in Emerald Isle, which has no brick and mortar school buildings. Then again, Doug has 3 young children and a mother who taught in the Carteret County public school system for 30 years. Great schools, Doug said, like we have now, are like magnets, drawing families who can work remotely from home into our communities. The mission now is to how we maintain that excellence, because underperforming schools scare people away regardless of the other amenities a town can offer. Doug and I shared our common experience as business owners. Doug said that growing a business while keeping true to its culture is a challenge all business owners face. This is a challenge he will face if elected mayor. And preserving the Emerald Isle culture is important not only to Doug, but to having vacationers return to Emerald Isle year after year. Lastly, Doug and I touched on keeping things fresh here in Emerald Isle. After a while, we wash our new toy, be it a car or a boat, less frequently. And when we get bored with that toy, we simply buy a new one. That's not so easily done with a town. And that's where new stewardship comes in, Doug said. A new mayor sees the town in a new light, and that is a good thing. In the end, I was very impressed with Doug the person and Doug the candidate. And you can learn more about Doug Starke and his vision for Emerald Isle by visiting his website. And when you want to learn more about the upcoming Emerald Isle elections, subscribe to my newsletter by texting your email address to 919-308-2292, or sign up for my blog on my website, www.eihomesforsale.com, and subscribe to Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist on YouTube at the end of this video. Stay well and stay safe. So come on down, please subscribe to my channel below, and definitely return next week to the same bat channel at the same bat time of 9 a.m. on Thursday for another episode of Emerald Isle Vacation Home Specialist.